Prop 35 is about health insurance tax and Medi-Cal reimbursements. It was placed on the ballot by more than 540,000 California registered voters who signed a petition. The question to voters is, do you want more of the money from the current tax on Medi-Cal health plans to go towards increased payments to medical providers and facilities? Medi-Cal is a federal and state program that offers health care to low-income people. Today, about a third of the state population use Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal has been dramatically expanded in the past 10 years to provide health coverage, including dental, to all low-income residents regardless of citizenship. And California's reimbursement rate to providers of Medi-Cal is now the third lowest in the nation because those reimbursements have not kept up with the expansion of the Medi-Cal program or with inflation. As a result, many providers won't treat Medi-Cal patients. The state receives matching funds from the federal government when it charges a tax on health care plans. Since 2009, California has been charging health plans a tax based on the number of people in the plan. The tax is higher for those on Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal costs are paid with $35 billion from the state general fund and $7 or $8 billion from the health plan tax each year. The legislature has not permanently approved this tax, and so it must be reapproved every few years, and the health plan tax will end in 2026 unless the legislature and federal government approve it again. If the majority of voters vote yes on Prop 35, three main things would happen. Beginning in 2027, the legislature's approval of the health plan tax would become permanent, and the state would only need federal approval to change the tax, or to charge the tax, I should say. Number two, the state would increase payments to providers who serve Medi-Cal patients. And third, some services receiving Medi-Cal funding would change in 2025 and 26. Prop 35 would increase Medi-Cal funding to some services that don't receive it, including outpatient facilities, behavioral health facilities, and doctor postgraduate training programs. And some services that currently do receive increased funding would not receive that funding under Prop 35, including non-emergency medical transportation, continuous Medi-Cal coverage for children up to 5 years old, and private duty nursing. According to the Legislative Analyst's Office, which is a nonpartisan state department, there would be no change to the existing tax on health plans, which expires at the end of 2026, so there would be no short-term fiscal effects. This year, Medi-Cal is expected to get $150 billion from all its funding sources. Under Prop 35, funding for Medi-Cal and other health programs would increase $2 to $5 billion annually for several years, and about half of this would come from the federal government and the other half from the tax that the state charges medical plans. Additional Medi-Cal spending from the general fund would be $1 to $2 billion annually for the next several years. These amounts are less than 0.5% of the general fund budget. These are not the opinions of the League of Women Voters, but people who support Prop 35 say that more of the money from the health plan tax should be used for investments in Medi-Cal rather than supporting the state's general fund. Some of the money is still unrestricted to give lawmakers flexibility in balancing the budget if necessary. Again, while not necessarily the opinion of the League, people who oppose Prop 35 say that California could experience a $56 billion deficit over the next 2 years, and restricting how the Medi-Cal revenue is spent makes it difficult to balance the state budget. As of September 1st, total contributions for Prop 35 were $4.8 million, including $15 million from the California Hospitals PAC, $15 million from the Global Medical Response, which is an ambulance company, and $12 million from the California Medical Physicians Association. As of September 1st, there have been no contributions against Prop 35, but campaign finance can change dramatically up until Election Day, and updates to campaign contributions can be seen on cal-matters.org, ballotpedia.org, and lao.ca.gov. The more money contributed to a campaign, the more ad you'll hear and see, either for or against the issue. the least reliable information to base your vote on is any paid advertising or social media. The media in general requires discretion to decipher what's opinion and what's fact. The most reliable sources are CalMatters, Ballotpedia, and LAO websites. So a yes on Prop 35 means you want the existing state tax on health plans for Medi-Cal patients to become permanent, with new rules to ensure more money is spent on health care. And a no on Prop 35 means you do not want the health plan tax to become permanent, and you do not want the change on how money from the health plan tax is spent.